My loves, what is up? Welcome back to Reckless Abandon Tarot. We're gonna be doing another reading for the beginning of Sagittarius season, but also we're going to be kind of channeling some of the energy with this Scorpio new moon that we have coming through this week, Wednesday or Thursday, depending on where you are. Yeah, I don't want to belabor this too much, as I always say at the beginning of these videos. But I just want to send out like my love and my care for everyone who is feeling like I am right now with this heavy Scorpio season energy and kind of feeling like I'm being cracked open a little bit emotionally. There's a big purging that is going on for all of us, so if you're experiencing that, my love, my care definitely goes out to you. And if you want to reach out to me for any type of like support emotionally and even like looking at some cards to kind of help you navigate this energy, definitely feel free to hit me up on my social platforms. So, as always, we're going to be doing the rainbow spread. We're going to start off with the 6 cards from the tarot, and then we'll pull 2 from the animal spirit cards. And let's just see what is coming through for us for the beginning of Sagittarius season. And also, with this type of big, purging, illuminating type of energy that's going on with this Scorpio new moon, that is going to be opposite Uranus, alright? So, unexpected moments, unexpected shifts in regards to like values and attachments that we have. Good luck, y'all. So let's see what's coming through for the first half of Sagittarius season. 3 of Wands reverse. 8 of Pentacles reverse. Lover's card. 2 of Swords reverse. 4 of Wands. Queen of Cups reverse. Okay, we're going to start off with these cards here, and we'll pull more as needed. So I want to go ahead and get started with this 3 of Wands at the beginning. So this is the main energy that we're stepping into for the beginning of Sagittarius season, and we got this 3 of Wands in the reverse. And so this is always a superliminal card. It's usually pretty optimistic in regards to being able to see potential ahead of you and coming in. This is like the waiting for your ships to come in type of energy. When the 3 of Wands is in the reverse, there could feel like a stagnancy or a lack or rejection of some kind in regards to some type of outcome that you were desiring, that you wanted. And there is a way that it could be that you haven't put enough like action to get you closer to those things, or some type of external circumstance that is out of your control could have shifted where you didn't get what you kind of wanted. So this is the main energy at the forefront of our minds, really, as the Sagittarius season begins. And so let's see what else is coming through with this 3 of Wands in the reverse type of energy. So why are 3 of Wands in the reverse for us as we step into Sag season? King of Cups. And the Knight of Cups. Okay, so this is really interesting because it feels like with whatever like situation didn't pan out or didn't come through for us, we are still pretty solid like emotionally with this King of Cups. There's a deep emotional fortitude that exists here. And even though your desire didn't particularly come in, you're not completely lost. You know what I mean? You're not completely like falling apart emotionally. And actually what's going on with this Knight of Cups is that we're realizing that this type of disappointment, like the feeling of disappointment or some reason why this desire didn't come through, is giving us an opportunity to go deeper into our emotional space and just understand a little bit more any issues that could have possibly blocked this desire from coming through. So, whatever didn't come through at this moment for us is opening up an opportunity to dig deeper into our emotional space, dig deeper into our feelings, and kind of excavate some type of truth out of that. So moving forward to the healing position, the healing energy, this is how we are processing or actively using our energy at this time. And we've got the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. So typically when I see the Eight of Pentacles, this is usually like a very hardworking card, very focused on the small details, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and kind of just being really set on a plan, basically, a structure that was like laid out before us, and really wanting to make sure that we are following along with all of the steps. The reversal here is definitely showing a need to step back a little bit from like the fine details, or it could be even that being so focused on the plan or how we wanted things to go has been doing us a disservice, essentially. I want to see what else is coming through with this Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. It really feels like a need to kind of just be open and adaptable as we're moving forward here, because not everything is going to happen or show up in the way that we expected it to. And if we're so tied to this, one way that we're supposed to do it, we're going to get overwhelmed. We're going to get kind of disheartened too, because sometimes with the Eight of Pentacles, there could be a feeling of like perfectionism that exists there. So why the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse for our healing energy, how we're processing our energy and actively using our energy for the first half of Sag season. Two of Wands. So this is exactly what I was saying about being adaptable, right? Because it feels like with whatever situation kind of didn't come through in this, main energy here, it could have been because we're not quite focused, we haven't been completely like on the details, or completely like, showing up for all of the small things that, like small responsibilities and obligations that we needed to really get closer to this desire. And because of that, there is a need to kind of pivot here with this Two of Wands, or we are able to kind of see other options for ourselves after, this kind of one desire, this one potential didn't really come through. There's a need for you to be okay with that, or for us to be okay with that, and to realize that we're not perfect, right? We can't always be completely on and completely like focused on these small details, because the reality of life is always going to seep in no matter what. I think since we still have this 8 here, like these details, this need to kind of be focused and paying attention to what we're building is still important, right? But there is a shift kind of energetically that is going on here, where we may be needing to move in a direction that is still just a little bit more authentic for our energy in regards to how we want to take action to, the things that we're passionate about or excited about. Because if you're not really excited here, if this is not something that you want to get up for because it's just a natural desire of yours, then you're not going to be able to show up consistently in a sustainable way and really be focused, because you're not satisfying this kind of fiery, passionate energy that we need to keep us motivated. One more here. The Seven of Wands in the reverse. So this is definitely about kind of having all of those things that we were required to show up for like fall to the wayside because we didn't have enough energy, because we didn't have enough passion or desire to be here, right? So I think this really is about kind of getting clear on these things that we have been showing up for, And if we're not actually excited about them, if we're not actually passionate about them, kind of letting those things like fall away, because it's really sucking your energy. It's really draining you energetically to really have to keep up with all these things when it's not really what we desire in the first place. So Seven of Wands in the reverse and the Two of Wands upright. That's the Five of Wands in the reverse, where it's like, not wanting to play the game, not having enough energy, not having enough desire to show up for this, even though other people may be wanting you to do that. You know what I mean? It almost feels like, in a way, there was a community, even, since we have this Four of Wands in the reverse, where you thought you were on the same page, but you actually didn't have the same capacity or the same long-term goal as these other people. So if that is the case, where you have been working so hard, trying to show up, trying to be perfect, trying to, tend to all these obligations, and it's like y'all are not on the same page values-wise and what you desire to build, this is your opportunity now to pivot, and actually find something that is in alignment with what you need, as far as, being emotionally fulfilled, right, with the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups, and then also like passionately fulfilled with all these Wands energies. So moving forward, we've got this Lovers card here in the Sunlight position. This is the things that we can look forward to, the things that like the successes and achievements that are available for us within the first half of Sagittarius season. And we've got the Lovers card. So I always love the Lovers card because it's about choice. I usually explain that this is a counterpart card to the Devil, whereas the Devil will represent the familiar hell, and the Lovers represents the unfamiliar heaven. So when the Lovers card comes up, it's really showing an opening, a portal, a path that is new, that is unknown, that is unexpected, but you kind of feel called towards that. There is something new that is in front of us that becomes available through like the releasing of these old things, that didn't come through. Excuse me. And basically, one of the messages here for the Sunlight is that there is opportunity to explore something new that is kind of calling towards you, that could take you down a new path that you haven't experienced before, but has the potential to resonate, but you don't know until you know. You don't know until you take this path, right? What more can we see with the Lovers card coming through here? First half of Sagittarius season. Six of Swords in the reverse. And then also this Tower card came out. Interesting. This is funny because, with the Sunlight card, there is like a connotation of like happiness or positivity behind that. And, with the Tower card and even the Six of Swords in the reverse, there is much more challenge that is associated with this success that is available for us during the first half of Sagittarius season. Because the Tower definitely represents like former foundations crumbling, right? But they were unstable to begin with. So seeing this here with the Lovers card, for a lot of us, there could be an unexpected like crumbling that occurs, but then also for some of us, this could be an active like decision to kind of crumble these unstable foundations. But because it's upright, it's more so that there is still kind of that unexpected energy that exists there, right? And, before we pulled the cards, I was explaining that we're having this new moon in opposition to Uranus, and this is kind of a Uranian energy where things happen unexpectedly. Sometimes a rug is pulled from underneath your feet, or, just some type of external circumstance crumbles this thing that you were trying to hold up that wasn't quite authentic, So if this is happening to you, this is clearing space for a new path, for a new perspective. If you are making this happen, whoever that you are involved with may not be expecting this. They may not be expecting you to kind of blow this situation up. You know what I'm saying? And then with the Six of Swords in the reverse, it's interesting because the Six of Swords comes after the Five of Swords, which is an energy of mental instability, an energy of kind of like mental insecurity and chaos. But with the Six, a lot of times there could be a way that you are avoiding just focusing on the things that you need to focus on. So the example that I usually bring up with this is that, say you were worried about your finances, and in order for you to not be kind of overthinking it or experiencing that mental worry, you just don't look at your bank account, right? But I feel like with the Six in the reverse, there is not the privilege, which is not quite the word that I want to use, but there is no more opportunity for us to like not look at this. It's like we just have to allow ourselves to be in that mental discomfort so that we can understand how to move on from that, and that could also be a part of this Tower card where you're finally looking at something that was causing some type of mental discomfort, and in order for you to kind of officially release that, you have to crumble this former like mindset, or crumble whatever it was that you weren't wanting to look at, wanting to focus on, in order to clear space to go down this new path that might have opportunity, that might have fulfillment there, but you would never know if you are holding on to this old experience, So let's move forward. We're gonna go into the grounding position, and it is showing up as this Two of Swords in the reverse. So with the Two of Swords, this is usually being like in a mental stalemate, like decisions that need to be made, and you're almost stuck in a black and white way of thinking where it's like, oh, this is right and this is wrong, or I can say this and I can't say this, or I can express this, can't express that. And what is not always being acknowledged or honored is the emotional truth that is causing you to be in this space where you have to make decisions in the first place. So I like that this is coming through in the grounding position first and foremost, because whenever we are in positions coming through, like the first half of Sagittarius season, where we need to make decisions on, what to do logically or rationally, this is a call to really just honor your emotional space at all moments, right? This is coming underneath this King of Cups and this Knight of Cups, where there is mastery, there is really clarity in regards to how we feel and how we want to feel. And so if we are regularly honoring that, then we can't make a wrong decision, and we don't need to kind of worry about the quote unquote right or wrong thing to do, because to be completely honest, swords logic, swords truth, all that is subjective. This type of logic and rationality isn't right for everybody, but what is right is if you are honoring your emotional space. And if you are constantly doing that, if you're constantly honoring that, if you're constantly looking at that and not trying to push it away mentally, then you can be more grounded in the decisions that you're making, because they are correct for you, and that's all that you need. What more can we see with this Two of Swords in the reverse? The Hermit card. Okay, I'm going to leave it with these two instead of pulling a third one. But what I'm seeing here for the grounding energy in regards to kind of making decisions for ourselves moving forward, one, of course, honor your emotional space. But two, if you still find yourself like almost in this mental stalemate, this Hermit energy is really what's going to help you clear that up and know what to do. Where the Hermit, I always call this like the self-reflective journey. It's like going into the cabin in the woods on your own so that you can realign to your North Star, to your inner guidance, right? the Hermit has this lantern that holds this star, and connecting this to the energy of the star card within the tarot, that is kind of like your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your desires for yourself, and kind of the deep, like authentic version of you that is just genuine, that's not really influenced by external factors. I think that a lot of people kind of navigate like from the outside to the inside. They feel like if their external circumstances are right and perfect, that your internal is going to then follow that and be happy. But that's really not how it works. You really have to be honoring your internal by you honor your internal by making your external reflect how you feel on the inside, right? So for the grounding energy, this is a reminder to really regularly kind of tap back into your emotional space on your own, and the things that you want that are completely for you, that the external kind of circumstance doesn't really have any influence on. It doesn't really matter what other people think about it or what other people want from you. If it is what you want for yourself, then that is how you are going to remain grounded in your decision making moving forward, and to clear up this energy of like stagnancy and wanting to do things rationally and logically. Because like I said, like the external like needs or requirements, kind of structures and systems that are placed on us, those don't really fit for everybody, and so you don't have to make this fit for you. The only things that has to be right for you is what's right for you, is what is honoring your emotions and your feelings and your passion. So that's how we're going to stay grounded. And then moving forward, we're going to go into the serenity position here, and this is how you can cultivate more peace, right? So we're showing up as this Four of Wands, and I always love this card because it reminds me of like your favorite hobby, your favorite pastime, these activities that you enjoy to do that you can never get bored of. It could even be like a person, like a best friend who does this with you, or a community in general that enjoys these things with you, right? So these sources of enjoyment, of excitement, of passion, and other people and situations that light you up is really important for you in regards to cultivating more peace the first half of Sagittarius season. So what more can we see with this Four of Wands here for us while we are navigating this energy? How can we cultivate more peace? First half of Sagittarius season. Whoa. Two of Pentacles in the reverse, okay. This is literally connecting to this prior position that we just talked about in the Chariot card. Okay. So, I want to start with this Two of Pentacles in the reverse, because this has very close ties and connection with this Two of Swords, where this is, both of these energies are really about, decisions and the things that we desire to commit our time and our energy to and nurture and grow and build and show up for, right? With the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, usually you're kind of trying to decide, do you want to commit this way or this way? Is this the most like important, like beneficial thing to nurture, or is it this? And once again, there is this water in the background that requires or desires to be honored and acknowledged, right? So if you find yourself in this Two of Pentacles position where you're just like, should I show up for this or not? Should I invest in this or not? Invest in the things that make you feel good. Invest in the things that honor your emotional needs for support, fulfillment, satisfaction, and nurturing, right? This Four of Wands plays a huge part into this, because these things, you just love them. You just show up for them because they're fun, they're exciting. They don't have to be practical. They don't have to be logical. They don't have to be rational. They just have to be fun. They just have to light you up on the inside, right? And so, regularly making decisions and committing to people, scenarios, situations that make you feel like this is going to be doing so much for you on an emotional space, but also with you kind of leveling up and feeling like you're actually growing and moving closer towards any type of long-term goals that you desire to build for yourself. The Chariot card, I always say, it's the level up, it's the next chapter. It's that almost feeling of like linear growth, but growth isn't always linear. But with the Chariot, this is about integration, right? There is always an idealized version of self or a shamed or idealized version of yourself and a shadow self or shamed version of yourself. And the way that most people navigate, we're usually feeding this dog, feeding this dog, feeding this dog, where it's just like, this is what the world says that we're supposed to be. This is how, society says we're supposed to show up and, desire. And then this gets no love at all. And because of that, they're on two separate pages, right? So if both of these are not honored, then you're never going to get closer to your goal. You're never going to move forward to your actual desire, because there is a part of you that is not having its needs met, So once again, is the this way or that way, or should I invest in this or should I invest in that? Where the truth is that it's both. Life is really a yes and situation where you can't just honor the logical thing if it's not also honoring your emotional space, your heart space and your emotional desires for fulfillment and satisfaction. So if you are honoring those things, if you're paying attention to those things and nurturing them, showing up for them, investing in them because they are natural, because they align with your passions and they align with your heart space and how you want to feel, then you're going to be on your path. You're going to be, regularly moving towards your desires rather than feeling stagnant, rather than feeling stuck, rather than feeling like you're spinning your wheels. Because you're actually, like I said, engaging with and honoring, integrating all parts of yourself, all parts of your needs, all parts of your desires. And when you're doing that, you're moving forward, moving forward, and moving forward. And you are not holding yourself back. Let me see. Is there another message that I have here? Some people are more focused on like the end goal rather than like the right now, a little bit more focused on the future and wanting to be provided for and have that type of external like stability and safety and structure, and not realizing that that's not sustainable if it doesn't fulfill you emotionally and if it's not authentic to your desire and how you want to use your energy, what you're passionate about, what you love, what you enjoy, what excites you. So that's what I'm seeing there for how you can cultivate more peace. So then moving on to this last position, this is the message from Spirit. Anything Spirit wants us to know or be aware of, or how we can best use our energy moving forward through this first half of Sagittarius season. And it's coming through first and foremost with this Queen of Cups in the reverse. So this is literally about like that emotional dysregulation. We have a Queen of Cups, we have a Knight of Cups, and a King of Cups. So there's a lot of mastery in the energy of emotions, right? But not only that, but your emotional space is really being expanded a lot right now. At the moment, we have Jupiter in Cancer, and Cancer is a water sign. It usually represents like your deep emotional well, kind of like this deepest part of you, and your needs for satisfaction and fulfillment. And Jupiter, which is in Cancer, rules the sign of Sagittarius, which is the energy, of the season that we're about to move into. So in regards to like moving into Sagittarius season, this is definitely illuminating, our vision for ourselves, one, and also, the things that we are passionate about and things that we are excited about. But those things that we are passionate about and are excited about we're really becoming a lot more clear on those things because our emotional space is much more expanded, and we can't really ignore how we feel about the direction and path that we're moving towards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be able to ignore all the things externally that don't make you feel good. So use this as information moving forward for how you want to make decisions and what you want to commit your time and your energy towards. Because, like I'm saying, like, if it makes you feel like this, it's gonna fall apart. It's gonna collapse on you. You're not going to have the energy or the desire to show up for that and really be focused on all the small details that are going to keep you going towards your long-term goals. So what more can we see here with this energy in regards to the advice from Spirit, or how we should best use our energy navigating through the first half of Sagittarius season? Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. And then the Six of Wands. I want to pull one more. Ace of Cups reverse. Okay. So yeah, like I said, Queen of Cups reverse, Ace of Cups reverse. If it is making you emotionally dysregulated, pour it out. Don't invest any more of your time and your energy into that. Because if you are holding on to this thing, then you're not going to be able to receive what is actually meant for you. You're not going to be able to receive what is actually pouring into you, pouring into your heart space, making you fulfilled, but also honoring like your passion. Right? That's what the Six of Wands is. This is the energy of success, victory, being seen, being applauded, being congratulated and cheered on for achieving your goals, achieving your desires, right? You can't get this if you're moving in a way that is not in alignment with what you actually want, you know? And there is a way that you can be affirmed externally if you are showing up for the things that are like outside of you. But if they don't also feed the things that are inside of you, then this is, like I said before, it's not sustainable. You know, you're going to have to keep regularly stepping outside of yourself to receive this external validation, and it's not going to last, you know? So there is a need for you to really be able to affirm yourself inside first, so that the external could then see you for who you are and validate, you know, kind of what you're doing. And then with the Wheel of Fortune here, there's a lot of different associations that I see with this card. Sometimes it's about timing. Sometimes it's about those like natural ebbs and flows of life. But mostly it's really the difference between like control and surrender, right? And so where I feel like the control aspect comes in is that a lot of us are trying to show up for these things externally so that we can control how people see us and how people like praise us and validate us from the outside, you know? And this type of mindset, I really feel like needs to be surrendered right now, so that we can really flow into the things that are, one, meaningful for us, and then, you know, receive that validation. One, that we're giving ourselves a validation, right? We don't need the external to give us that validation. But if we are surrendering this need to be seen in this type of way externally, then we are able to kind of receive more that is a lot more authentic, you know? I hope that makes sense for y'all, because like, what do I want to say? The Wheel of Fortune turns, you know, and chasing this external validation, you're gonna have those like natural ebbs and flows, those natural ups and downs, and once again, it's not gonna be sustainable. So then when you're in this like downward phase, you're gonna be like, you're gonna be doubting yourself, basically doubting your path, doubting your direction, doubting your desires, and the ability for that to kind of provide a meaningful experience for you. But if you are validating yourself, even when you're in this like world in reverse, not world, but the Wheel of Fortune in reverse type of energy, you're much more trusting the universe to really bring in what you need, because you're putting your intention out there in a way that is authentic for you, And so then it becomes more so like, okay, this is a natural ebb and flow. Maybe, the external situation is not as positive as I want it to be, but as long as I am honoring myself, the wheel will turn and your time will come and you'll receive everything that is meant for you, because you're honoring what you actually desire and not stepping away from yourself in order to chase that external type of idea of success and validation. So that is the tarot message. We're going to go ahead and pull 2 cards from the animal spirit to close off and just see what is coming through for us first half of Sagittarius season. All right, what animal spirit cards or energies are relevant for us for the first half of Sagittarius season? Any energies that we need to know, be aware of, or possibly embody with the animal spirits. Okay. Oyster. And the dragon. Okay, I don't think I've ever pulled the dragon card, so I'm really excited to see what is coming through with that. But we'll start with the oyster and see what the oyster has to say. Let's see. Okay. Oyster. It says, patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is, oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires and life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. It says, when in balance, it feels blessed, generous, and masterful. When out of balance, it's reluctant, it's gripping, and it clams up. To bring it to balance, share something. So the connection that I'm seeing here with this oyster and this spread, once again, like it's kind of re-emphasizing this energy of being like shy or doubtful, which I can see with this 2 of Swords in the reverse and this 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like doubting the direction, doubting the path, doubting that you can actually bring in your desired experience through just being yourself, So you have to show your inner gifts. You have to bring out, this authentic part of self that you've been, kind of known to withhold in order to receive some type of external type of validation, like I said. But if it's not really in alignment with your truth, it's not going to feel good. And yeah, that's the thing that I am mostly seeing here. When in balance, it feels blessed, generous, and masterful. When out of balance, it's reluctant, gripping, and it clams up. This is so reluctant. And you'll never have to be reluctant if you are showing up honestly, authentically, and always putting out your natural gifts so that you can receive what is really in alignment. So that's the oyster card. So let's move on to the dragon. Let's see what that has to say. Okay. Dragon. It says, seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. Agni or Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. So then it says the dragon and the third chakra. The subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center in the Manipura chakra. Manipura translates to the city of hidden gems, and behind its gates burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions. Okay, like this honestly like ties in so much with the oyster and with this entire reading itself. You know, we're seeing our true selves and, you know, kind of realizing that our true selves have been hidden within this type of oyster energy. It's been hidden within these emotions and parts of selves that we keep within so that we can be more palatable for the external, you know, but then it's just not real, and it's not sustainable, and it's not desirable. Let's see. It's almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. You know, I really feel like that is bringing forward this type of chariot energy where, like I said, this is about integration. You know, you can't only be focused on this external version of you, this piece of you that people see from the outside in. You really have to be tending to the inside out in order to regularly be moving towards your goals, regularly be moving towards your path that is authentic for you and receiving, you know, the beautiful gifts that the universe has for you. You can't receive that if you're not being that. You can't receive that if you're too caught up, like being committed to all these things that are not actually what you want to show up for, you know, but you think that they're going to provide stability, you think they're going to provide resources, you think they're going to provide, you know, structure, and they might, but at the end of the day, it's going to restrict passion. It's going to restrict emotional, like, satisfaction and fulfillment. So there is a need for you to be courageous enough to honor your inner world as you navigate the external world. And that is really what this time is about. You know, this is a perspective shift. This is a mindset shift from external appearances to internal truth and internal guidance. So that's what I'm seeing for us for this first half of Sagittarius season, and also this Scorpio new moon energy that's coming through, opposing Uranus. Like I said, something's coming down, and it could be unexpected for you, or if you're the one who's tearing this down, it could be unexpected for the other people who are involved. But it's necessary to clear, you know, some space and to level a foundation so that you can rebuild on top of that in a way that's completely authentic and it's not going to break down, you know, because it's not based off of what externally that it's supposed to be, it's supposed to look like. It's based off of your inner truth and what you desire to take action on and to feel. So please let me know if this message is resonating with you. Give me a like if you like this. Drop a comment down below, like what you're experiencing at this time, like stepping into Sagittarius season. Definitely subscribe if you want to follow for more readings in the future, and share this if you think this will be helpful for anybody that you love and care for. Yeah, good luck while we are navigating these energies, y'all. Like I said at the beginning, like I feel like I'm being cracked open, and it's really a lot to say that as someone who regularly like works with these energies and regularly honors my emotional space. There are still things that kind of hold me back because I feel like I have to meet an expectation, and I don't have to do that as long as I am regularly showing up and partnering with like people and situations that share the same values as me, share the same goals as me, and share the same feelings and truth as me. So I hope that you guys can find that. Honor your emotional space, honor your authentic desire and passion, and good luck with the first half of Sagittarius season. So I'll see y'all next time. Bye.